Okay, we were waiting for the close of this bar, and as we can see, we got a big pop down to support here and even broke down through support. And like I was saying before, and in Archimedes video 10, um, you'll learn why this bar is a torsion spring bar, and why, as we mentioned earlier, a break below or above the range of this bar usually signals a nice size move in the direction, because all of that pent up energy is released and took us down here. And also, you'll learn in Archimedes why, another reason why this bar is weak, because this is a 50% bar, and it gave us weakness and at resistance. And remember, weakness or strength at support resistance, that's what you're looking for. And even though this bar finished green, it finished up. It did actually finish a weak bar, even though it was 50-50, because the market has been strong and it exhibited weakness at a resistance. This is why I was saying that I was leaning to the short side. I may or may not have traded, got in on this trade. I don't know. I may have wanted to wait for a close below the torsion bar, or maybe on a break, or I may have gotten in at the close of this weak bar that's at resistance. But in any event, you can see how predictive our indicators are. The Archimedes indicators are in direction and as far as magnitude or distance of a particular move. But now I want you to pay attention to this bar, this big down bar. Now, even though this was a big down bar, the price volume spread is showing strength in this bar. In other words, this was a weak down bar. So if it's a weak down bar, the opposite of a weak down bar is strength. Opposite of weakness is strength. Okay, so this bar would be interpreted as a strength at the close of this bar. But now there's one additional factor that now still makes this a weak bar and not a strong bar, because operators were in on this bar. And if the operators were in on this bar and it made this substantial move down, I would expect price to continue down and test our next support level. And the test will be when price pulls back to test this new resistance, which was support on the way down, but now that it's broken, it's now resistance. So I would anticipate this next bar to come back to touch, test resistance, and continue down. So if I were trading here, I would be looking to enter short on the pullback here and take profits down at this line here, or I would be looking to exit on, if I get in, I would be looking to exit on market strength, even if my target has not been hit to the downside, because I want it to keep showing me weakness on the way down. But if it shows me strength, then I will get out. And so let's see what happens on this next bar. Okay, we get to the close of the next bar, which is this bar here, and this bar closed on weakness. I'm sorry, this bar closed on strength. This bar closed on strength. So the last two bars, even though they are down bars and we are substantially down, they both bars closed on strength, and shows some accumulation. And we talk about how to spot accumulation and distribution in the Archimedes principle. But right now, what the configurations are telling us is that price most likely will not break and closed below support. And remember, this is our support bar here, but this was a prior low on the way up, and support resistance on the way up is usually in the locations where it was on the way down. So but now on the way down, since this was a prior low, we will now also consider this as a support level. So really from here to here now would be the range of support on the way down that could stop price and bounce it back up. And right now price is telling us that this market is under a little accumulation right now as we're falling. That may change in the next couple of bars, but we would not expect a close below the low here, and most likely below here. But even up here, I'm not in the market because my trigger target was not hit, my entry target was not hit, fell about 10 pips short. But now be advised that once we break below the support level here, this is the sell signal here, the sell signal at the close of the bar. And so we can sell now and look to take our profit down here. But what we want to do when we can is enter on the pullback. If we can enter on the pullback, that makes our stop level much smaller. For instance, if I could enter short here, then my stop could just be a few pips above here, as opposed to if I go ahead and enter short when the signal occurs, I've got more room to go up before I come above this stop level here. So it's just a matter of risk. But this bar closed with some strength, and just because it closed with some strength, that doesn't mean it can't go any lower. What that means is that the fall is decelerating. It's decelerating. And also what our MFI is telling us is that this bar had very little participation between buyers or sellers, so it basically fell due to its own weight. It fell due to its own weight. So the slightest support, the slightest bounce is likely to take it back up. And also consider that just like when we were up here and I told you that because this break out had not been tested, it was highly unlikely that we would close above this range before this breakout was tested. Well, it's the same way going down here now. We haven't really been tested here, and I wouldn't anticipate a breakout below here before we get tested here. So I would be if no test, I would be looking to buy around the zone of the low on strength when I saw strength. And since this we didn't touch resistance yet, I would take off my limit order to enter, because now we're into the next bar here. I wanted to enter on this bar, but now in order to come up, we'll be coming up on a reversal. To get here on this bar means that we would have to go higher than this bar. So that means if that happened, we would be entering short on strength, and we don't want to enter short on strength. We want to enter short on weakness. So if we kept our limit order in right now to sell short up here, and this bar here moved up to touch it, that would be moving up on strength, and we don't want to get in short on a strength move. So right now what we want to do is to look to see what happens on the next bar, because if we didn't enter up here on the weakness here, then we're still not in the market on the way down, and we're looking for an opportunity. Okay, we're at the close of this bar. We were waiting for the close of this bar. I keep getting back just a tad late. This bar is still open, but this is the next bar we were waiting for. And So now, what does Archimedes tell us at the close of this bar? Well, it tells us that our price volume spread tells us strength, and our MFI indicator tells us strength. And in addition, we have just completed a 3-bar turn, 1, 2, 3. And in Archimedes, we talk about in the videos how to recognize a 3-bar turn and what a 3-bar turn is. And our Archimedes method is also telling us that the operators are in at the low of this bar. So I'm looking strength here. Now an aggressive entry would be to enter long anywhere within this bar, the last bar that closed, with your stop below the low of this red bar here. And because we know that the operators are in from the low here on up, and so they more than likely will defend their positions if price should happen to challenge the lows here. So we want to enter long if we're aggressive anywhere in this bar. The best possible entry would be at the open of the bar, because open, low, high, close, they all serve as support and resistance. They are the first levels of support and resistance as the market is moving. Now, me personally, I like to enter on pullbacks, so I want to see a close above resistance here on strength, and then I would consider entering long. And yes, it may cause me to miss a move if the move happens to pop and continue straight up to the next resistance level. So now that you aggressive traders are long here already, or long at the close of this bar, okay, I'm waiting until the close of this bar, and let's see what happens.